Okay, this is April 9th, 2011, Saturday, and I'm going to take a more in-depth look at this weekly chart. So we can all see, and we've probably all been watching this bearish divergence forming on the weekly chart. But there's something I wanted to point out, okay? Over here, where is that at? Right here. Alright, we also had bearish divergence here. If you notice, price rallied up to here, pulled back, it peaked out here on this RSX, climbed back up, and once price got above this high that corresponds with the RSX high here, we formed a doji, and we pulled back 227 pips, and then we rallied 663 pips, all while we had bearish divergence. So what I'm saying is that just because we have bearish divergence on the weekly chart doesn't mean this is where it's time to sell. Up here, when that happened, we had a doji bar. It was undecided. We pulled back that 227 pips, formed this support at 44.80, which price is coming up to that now is a resistance, okay? And then we rallied the 663 pips while we were still in this bearish divergence. So don't let that fool you, because if we look over here, we have the same scenario. We have this bearish divergence. We're coming up to this support here, and I do believe we are going to have a pullback. Not sure how far, but I'm still in buying the dip modes. This is a bullish candle. This was a doji, okay? When the price actually did a reversal and sold off really big is when we formed a reversal pattern on the weekly chart. We formed a pin bar. Once price broke below that pin bar, down she went. Same thing over here. We don't have that signal yet, okay? So at the moment, I'll buy the dips. Alright, so, and also we're still trading in this ABC long, targeting the FE100 at 45.68. Now on the daily and the 4-hour chart, the ABC pattern targets was 44.07 and 44.18 on the daily and the 4-hour. Those targets were met. Now we're working on meeting the weekly target. Okay, so one reason that I think, we will have a pullback this week, maybe not very big, but enough that, I'm not thinking it's going to be a sell-off, but probably a pullback so that we can form another ABC long on a 4-hour or 1-hour chart is what I'm thinking. And that's because of this dollar index. Our dollar index 1-hour chart here has a bull flag, and our 4-hour chart has a bull flag. So it's very likely that the euro dollar is going to pull back in order to give us, on a 4-hour chart, an ABC to the upside again. And since we met those targets, AB equals CD targets, I went ahead and took those targets off, and now I'm waiting on a new 4-hour or 1-hour ABC long pattern. So I am expecting a pullback in order to form an ABC long on a 4-hour chart or on a 1-hour chart. Now if price continues above this high Sunday night or gaps up, then this won't be B. Okay? We'll have to wait for B to be formed. We'll have to wait for a rally and then a pullback in order for a new ABC. But at the current standpoint, we're looking at this possibly being B, pulling back to form C, and we'll go ahead and fib that to see where we could pull back to. Maybe around the 50%, which is right around the 50 EMA, could be our C level. So Sunday night I'll be watching for a pullback to C around the 50%, 61.8 maybe, the 50 EMA right in this area. I'll be looking for a pullback to buy. If price continues up and we don't get that pullback, I'll wait for it to rally up and then pull back and then buy. And I'm working towards this weekly target of 45.68, you know, or even above. Now, and on this 4-hour chart, I think it's just about the same as the 1-hour chart, but I'm going to go ahead and fib that from this low to this high. Now these fibs will change if instead of pulling back Sunday night, we continue up. This fib won't be valid. So we'll have to see what happens Sunday night. But if it stays like this Sunday night and we pull back, I'll be looking for, you know, a dip to the 43.50 area or 43.26 area possibly. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be looking at. And I wanted to point out one more thing, this monthly chart. We have an ABC long on it, and of course the target is way out there. The final target is way out there. But we still can use these FEs as resistance levels and other targets. Okay. For instance, if we meet the weekly target of 45.68, then there's a good chance we will see the 48.58 on the monthly. You know, and we are trading above the bull flag right now. Of course, this is just the beginning of the month. By the end of the month, we could have snapped back down in it. We don't know that. So bottom line, keep an eye on a weekly chart. Understand that even though we have bearish divergence like we had here, we now have it here. Even though that we have that, this price can still just pull back enough to make another ABC long on a 4-hour or 1-hour chart and to head back up another 600 pips if necessary, just like we did over here. Until we get these reversal signals like we have here or here on a weekly chart, you know, we don't want to be thinking we're going to sell off. We're going to have a big sell-off. You know, the sell-off is coming. We have to have some kind of indication that it really is coming, and this is not saying it really is coming yet. So by the end of next week, it may. So my theory again this week so far, unless something changes, and in this Forex market we reserve the right to change our mind at any given point in time, because the market changes at any given point in time. So always keep that in your mind. But buying the dips for me is the way to go for now. Okay, this is April 9th, 2011, and this is my members blog entry.